The Department of Communications is heading to the Pretoria High Court in a bid to avert the liquidation of the South African Post Office. The move is aimed at placing the Post Office under business rescue, rather. The department also plans to cut some of the operational costs through measures including staff layoffs. We're now joined by Aubrey, Tshabalala, the Communication Workers Union General Secretary. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. The position of the union on this matter?
Well, good afternoon to viewers at home. The position for the union in this matter, firstly, we must express that we shouldn't have been here should those who are in power, including the executive of Post Office and the government, heeded our call. But nevertheless, this is where we are now. We remain opposed to the liquidation of Post Office. We feel that if the business rescue is used in a proper way, not to chop or cut jobs, it can be able to salvage or save Post Office going forward. So it's a matter that we can support on conditions that we don't retrench workers in what the Department of Communication has proposed in Parliament yesterday.
Okay, some of the proposals are centered around the Post Office shedding some 7,000 of its staff because it says it will save around 1.5 billion rand a year in employee costs.
Well, that is true. That's what they presented in Parliament. But it baffles us to note that 2 months ago, they were saying that they wanted to retrench 6,000 workers. Surprising, without consulting with us, they now moved that number to 7,000 workers, which is way above 50% of the workforce. Taking into account that from November 2022 to this date, there have been VSP severance packages that were given to workers. A substantial number of workers have left the system. Now, how does the number increase without even a notice or engagement around that? That's what is disappointing about the Department of Communication, that it failed to make proper consultation, firstly with labor, to establish what is it that is needed to be done. But over and above, that plan signals the death of Post Office if we allow it, because it will mean the network of Post Office, as it were, will be cut. The services that were rendered in the outskirts and the rural areas of this country will have to be cut because there will be no workers working in those areas.
Of the Post Office, as it stands, the Post Office has over 1,000 branches. Only 193 make profit.
Well, that talks to a business plan than any other thing. I mean, South Africans are thirsty to access the services of South African Post Office. But the business model, which is something that we've been talking about all these years, is not responding to the market demand. Amongst other things, the IT upgrade, so that we have services that are efficient and equitable. But amongst those branches as well, there's absolutely no workers there. It is a clear indication that there's a short of staff, short of services, so you cannot be expected to be productive whilst you are not having those facilities to provide that particular service. So this is one of the reasons. It's not about the products that the consumers need. It's about efficiency and the model of the business.
You've accused the Department of Communications of not consulting with labor, essentially not communicating with you. And so what happens now? How do you find each other?
Well, definitely we've made commitments to meet with the minister. We hopefully that will respond in this turnaround. However, we are going to join forcefully in court these proceedings because as workers we are not going to fold our arms and watch the proceedings go without us challenging and making serious inputs. Noting that the Post Office and the debts that they're talking about, they're not talking about the monies that were not paid to workers' pension over 4 to 6 years. They're not talking about the medical aids that are not paid. They're not talking about the salary increases that were agreed to but never paid to workers. So there's a very huge amount that is owed to workers themselves. So when you talk of business rescue, workers become central of the discussion in those things.
Aubrey, Tshabalala is the Secretary General of the Communication Workers Union. Thank you very much for your time.